Welcome to the Wait for It Seattle podcast. This is Kevin, and that's Daniel. It's episode 97, 1997. Were you
Great
born
year.
yet? Is that the
that
year
was
of
the
your
year I was
birth?
born.
There we go, 1997. Daniel, the year you were born. I must say, you're coming off the bench for this, but we got a lot of, we need more Salle in the comments.
6 man of the year, man. We talked about Jamal last week, 6 man of the year.
6 man of the year. So, I talked it over with the GM of the podcast, and we worked out a little piggybacking arrangement. And then, I communicated it very clearly to you, and now all of a sudden you're on board. So great to have you back. Lots going on, but more importantly, evidenced by the apparel we are wearing. If you're not listening, we're both wearing Mariners hats. I'm wearing my 2024-2025 postseason hat.
Me too.
Oh, there we go. We got matching. Or do you go with the fitted or the snapback?
Fitted, always.
Yeah, so I always go with the snapback because obviously my head's a lot smaller than yours. I love Simply Seattle, by the way, but I went and bought my Seahawks gear. I think you're in the group chat here, and I was like, oh, the snapback Seahawks hat with the Super Bowl patch, right? Like, can't beat that. Comes in the mail, it's fitted, and it's way bigger than I need it to be. So, Brett, if you're listening, it's coming your way. That was another person, my brother-in-law. He says apparently that he enjoys listening to you. So, welcome back, Brett.
That's very encouraging. I appreciate any positive feedback from Brett. He's someone I consider a good friend.
Skyway legend. Okay, so the Mariners are on a 9-game win streak or an 8-game win streak? 8-game win streak. They just won another game. I think it was 8-3. Did I get that right?
You did.
They have a ridiculous run differential. I need to pull up what it is at the moment. But the Mariners are rolling, man. Like, if besides the piggybacking, which is by a great problem to have, by the way, and we'll get into a little bit of that, but what do you think is clicking? Like, why are they winning all of these games all of a sudden?
I mean, it's hard to kind of pinpoint one specific thing. They've kind of won a lot of these games in some different ways. We've seen big offensive nights. We've seen dominant pitching nights, close games, walk-offs, games where we're running away with it. I think the obvious starting point is the production of Julio Rodriguez.
Yes.
And he's been awesome since he broke into the big leagues. I mean, let's not forget that. But to see this level of dominance throughout the month of May, I think for all of us has been very encouraging. And he's also a guy with a contagious personality. And I think that goes a long way with the team. You combine that with a guy like Colt Emerson coming up and producing the way he has, especially these last few days, in that pretty sweet diving grab in the warning track up the third baseline tonight to end the game, and another unbelievable diving play earlier on. I mean, he's hitting, he's playing defense, he's doing a little bit of everything. So that's been quite the flash in the pan so far as well. I just think you look up and down the roster, and yeah, it's a bummer that Cal's been down and Donovan's been down. It's tough to not have two guys like that who were a huge part of the blueprint going into the season, but everyone's kind of picking up the slack in different areas. And it just seems like, we got on last week on Monday night and said, don't panic. And that was game 1 of the winning streak. And
didn't I say usually there's a hot streak?
There's always a hot streak.
And then you said it's usually in the summer, and it's June 1st right now, and just transition in the summer.
Warmer. Mariners are on fire. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a great thing. They are, by the way, so, God, are they 32-29? I don't know if I'm looking at the latest standings. Or are they 33-29?
Well, let me take a look, and let's double check our work here.
Well,
I'm seeing 33-29.
Okay, so 33-29. That's 4 games above 500. Here's the great thing about their sweep of the Athletics is that, they overtook them in the standings, and then they pushed them down in the standings, right? Like, that's the best part about that A's series, where they kind of you saw a lot of good things happen. Let's dwell on Julio a little bit, though. You know, he homered again tonight. He had a solo homer, and they were already up 7-3 at that point. But that's his fourth home run in the last 6 games. He has 13. He had 10 in the month of May. And like you said, he's just having a damn good time. And usually this is around the time he starts to heat up, but it was nice to see him just start hot in May. I think he's going to have a historic and a career year given the start he's gotten off to. And I mean, it sucks not to have Cal, especially, right? Like he's
I miss
probably
him
the
a lot,
best
man.
player on the team, one. And then two, it would be great to have Brendan Donovan. But I think there are some positives to look out of all, their absences. The first thing is, and this is a shout out to the people criticizing the roster construction, is that you load up on enough bats and it gives you an opportunity. It gives you an opportunity it gives you some cushion to lose a guy like Cal and still feel like you have a potent offense. I mean, Naylor the night before with the big home run on Monday, Julio getting off to a hot start, and then of course your young guys are stepping up. So that's the thing. You lose Brendan Donovan. You don't lose Brendan Donovan, and you probably don't see Colt Emerson for a little while longer. It's going to be really interesting. I know it's only June, but the trade deadline is going to be really interesting because it seems like the Mariners, one, they have more starting pitchers that they need. And then two, once Cal and Donovan get healthy, I mean, there's going to be good players either in the minors or there's going to be some good players getting dealt for a bullpen arm or something. I don't know, like utility guys off the bench because there's just a lot of talent. And then there's stuff percolating in the minors as well. So I don't know, like, is there any negative to this team? I mean, I guess the only thing is you have 2 guys injured, but they look really good. I mean, they're beating up on bad teams. I think that's part of it, right?
Yeah, but I mean the Mets haven't been good, but Arizona's good,
Yeah.
and the A's are pretty good. And
Yeah.
that was a breath of fresh air, that series against the A's. But I think the weakness that's still kind of there is probably the lineup we roll out against left-handed pitching and that whole kind of platoon situation that's still sorting itself out. It was nice to see Ref Snyder go yard the other day too. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was really encouraged, especially after that game last Monday against the A's to start that series, the negative publicity that came with the piggyback and the clip of Bryce Miller after the game and the clip of Castillo during the game, for them to come out the next 2 days and the A's tried to kind of cook the books and maneuver their rotation and call a guy up to go back-to-back lefties, and we teed off both nights. And I thought that was cool, and I also thought that was a nice little sign of confidence from the whole team. I mean, you see that, and it's them trying to exploit an area that hasn't been a strength, and they took it and ran with it and did some damage. And I feel like there's a lot to like about a situation like that, and I also just think that things are kind of falling into place the way they need to. It's just like I said last week, this is a really good group of players.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's from the starting pitching to the back end of the bullpen to the lineup. I mean, there's a lot of guys playing at a high level. Cole Young's been awesome and extremely clutch. I mean,
Yeah.
at every turn, there's a lot of different guys stepping up. I mean, Parada with a huge home run tonight, and who knows, maybe that's an interesting conversation about who sticks around as a backup catcher when
Yeah,
Cal
whether
comes
it's
back.
him
I'm
or
not sure.
Garver, yeah. It's both of them bring something, right? Pareda obviously brings a big bat, and it's capable behind the plate. But you also got a vet in Mitch Garver. Cal Raleigh was instrumental in bringing him back this year.
Seems like the
He's
guys really
not,
like Garver.
yeah, and the pitching staff likes him as well.
He's been great with his challenges behind the dish too. Like
Yeah,
really good
yeah.
with his ABS challenges.
Yeah, so it's another good problem to have. I just want to go back to the piggyback because
Let's talk about it, man.
let's talk about it. So Luke Arkins on X and on his website put out a tweet yesterday. He combined the relief numbers of Castillo and Miller. So I think Castillo's come out of the pen 2 times and Miller once. Combined 12.1 innings pitched, a 22.4 strikeout rate, 8.2 walk rate, a 195 opposing average, a 1317 slugging percentage, and a 26.9 WOBA, which is really good. I mean, that's a lights out bullpen. You compare it to the other, the rest of the bullpen when they started this piggyback era, 45 innings pitched, 18.4 strikeout rate, a 9.5 walk rate, a 267 average, a 358 slug, a 320 WOBA. In other words, Castillo / Miller are pitching a lot better than the 4 arms, 5 arms in the bullpen. And that's no surprise. Like, this is the cream of the crop, right? These are the best pitchers. Just imagine, right? You get through Miller, right? 2 turns through Miller. And then you're staring down Luis Castillo, who's throwing 98 miles per hour in like the 7th inning. It's not a natural thing. And it's really like it's worked. Like, especially, yeah. I mean, you can't predict when a game is going to go 10, 11 innings, right? But that's what happened in Castillo. And then the bullpen got the night off. The bullpen got the night off in a 10-inning game. Like, that is not a normal thing. Now they're going to go to the 6-man rotation, I think, for 2 turns, I think is what was said, or at least a turn. But, maybe in September, Miller is happy that this happens and Castillo is happy this happens because they have fresh arms, right?
Well,
Miller's gotten injured every year.
That's the biggest thing with all this. I mean, there's plenty of information out there now through three go-arounds that this strategy has been actually really effective. The problem is how it's being received, or how it appears to be being received by the players on the team. And if they're not happy with it, then I'm probably not happy with it either. If we're going to be completely honest, we need those guys on board if we want to get where we're looking to go here. But kind of an outlandish idea, and it's working. Yeah. And I thought, like you just mentioned, but Sunday's game against the Diamondbacks was like the prime example. I mean, Castillo, he gave up a run, but that game goes extra innings and he just finishes off the deal. I mean, Bryce had a great start too, but I just thought that was incredible. The way it all shook out, and on TV they did a great job of, like, when we came up to bat in the bottom of the 9th, it was like, well, if you had any questions about what's going to happen in the 10th if we get there, they showed the bullpen. They panned to the bullpen and there's nobody up and moving. It's like, yep, Castillo's got this next inning. I was like, I guess, man, I just see no reason for him not to keep going. And sure enough, it all worked out.
If this goes far enough, right, I do think that this could be a revolutionary tactic. Not revolutionary, like, just a new tactic that not just the Mariners can use, but, like, just teams in general. Like, are we going to see this perhaps in the playoffs? Like, you see weird things in the playoffs, right? You see really weird things. Like, honestly, maybe I would rather have Luis Castillo come out of the bullpen than, do the, like, 4 different guys in 3 innings thing, right? Like, maybe I would want Castillo to go through a turn of the, a lineup, or Bryce Miller for all I care, right? And that's a lot scarier than going, right, playing the lefty-righty matchups and just rolling out the same guys that you did the night before. So maybe this is a tool that we'll see in the playoffs, and maybe it's not so bad of a thing, So anything else about the piggyback? Anything else about our Seattle Mariners?
I mean, I think I just want to make sure I give props to the front office and Jerry Dipoto and Justin Hollander. Just speaking on the Mariners in general, I think you look big picture at the last couple of years and some of the strings that have been pulled, they've done a pretty good job given all the circumstances. And I know, there's people out there that are going to say, oh, well, Ref Snyder signing hasn't worked out. Front office has done a bad job. Time to make a change. It's like, well, let's take a look at the development of our pitchers. Let's take a look at, how well that Randy Arozarena trade has aged going into this year. You look at them letting guys like Suarez and Polanco go to open the door for a guy like Cole Young and a guy like Colt Emerson. I think there's a lot that we need to applaud that has been done by the front office. And, it's hard to come out and say that when they're struggling, but I'm going to go ahead and say it right now while we're in the middle of an 8-game winning streak, because this is the perfect time to acknowledge that, I think.
So the Mets will be, when you hear this, depending on when you hear this, the Mariners will be playing the Mets. They took 2 of 3 for sure. They could go for their third straight sweep tomorrow or Wednesday against the Mets, and then they'll take Thursday off, and then they'll get a shot at the Tigers. Skubal's injured, I think.
Yes.
Okay. And so there's rumors about him potentially being on the block again. I don't think the Mariners are a contender for him.
No, but
it makes you
preemptive
think.
Congratulations to him on getting traded to the Dodgers.
Yeah, and us having to potentially play him in the World Series. So,
man, that'd be awesome. Bring back Polanco for that game.
That's interesting. That's interesting enough. Mariners baseball. What else is going? Husky football recruiting, to be exact.
There seems to be a commitment every day of the week.
Yeah, today out of nowhere, honestly, and I'm pretty plugged in. I do think they have another commitment coming on Friday, but today they landed a 4-star wide receiver out of Weiss High School in Texas. It's their second year in a row landing a 4-star wide receiver. They just held a big official visit weekend in June, and this is how it works. They get a sizable group of maybe 10 to 15 recruits on campus. A good amount of them are offered. A good amount of them are already committed, and a good amount of them are not committed. So you get a nice little healthy mix. What happens on these official visit weekends? They meet with the coaches. They do fun things. They go on a yacht on Lake Washington, which sounds great. They have a nice little photo shoot. They talk with the families. I believe they had an alum panel, and Dante Pettis was on campus. So if you put 2 and 2 together, he probably talked about what it's like to be a Husky, and of course a nice dinner at probably a steakhouse, right? And that's
looks like
really
they had a
cool.
nice catered dinner at Jed Fish's house at one point too.
Yes, and that's part of it as well. And the coaches and their families are also involved. So it's I actually kind of relate to this. I do a lot of recruiting for the law firm. And when we get nice thing is I'm not burdened by NCAA rules. So for law firm recruiting, we try to woo the best, the best legal minds in all the country that want to work at our office in San Francisco, but we're fighting all the other law firms that are kind of just like us. And so what do? You interview them and you take a look at their transcripts and their resume. It's not so much different from recruiting. You look at a writing sample instead of looking at game tape. You look at a writing sample and you make your decisions on what do will this person be a good fit or not? And then you recruit. You call them, you tell them how they'd be a good fit. You have a good lunch with them. You have them in for dinner. You talk to different people at your law firm. And I've been on both ends, right? I've been the recruit. I was flown out to California. It's really exciting to be wined and dined, but there's more to it, right? As a recruit, you want to find a good fit. So that's what happens on official visit weekend. And for the Huskies, at least, what's changed this year, Daniel, which I think is interesting, is that a lot of guys are coming into this June period already committed. Last year, I don't think there were 16 commits in the first week of June. I think we were probably around more so 10 to 12. And so things just move a lot faster. Guys are on campus a lot earlier than their official visit. If your official visit is your first time on campus, it's probably not a good sign for the school that's recruiting you that you'll end up there. But there's still a lot of time to go. The Huskies already landed the number 1 recruit in the state, which I think is huge. By the way, do you believe in that? Do you think it's important to, maybe it's a dumb question, but like, no matter who the number one ranked recruit is in the state of Washington, that the Huskies get that person every year? Like, is
I
that,
think to a certain extent, there's some
yeah.
value in that. I think the concept of protecting your backyard is big, and
Hmm.
obviously there's been in recent years guys from Washington who are like 5-star, big time, top 5 to top 20 guys in the country.
Yeah.
But I do think, and I feel like especially in the era of Chris Peterson, there was a lot of success with some of these guys. He didn't get them all,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know, getting these guys in state, I mean, obviously a little biased, but you bring in a guy like Myles Gaskin, he becomes the all-time leading rusher, like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff is something to help really keep the fans like excited. And they're,
Yeah.
got people that are being followed by the fan base from the time they're 15 years old through the end of their college career. If you do manage to keep them, I think there's definitely a
Yeah.
huge value in that.
And potentially 5 years, right? With this
Yes.
new rule pending. So another interesting thing is like there is the traditional West Coast, right? You're going to pull a lot of kids out of California, obviously a lot of kids from your state, Washington State, maybe a few from Oregon if they escape the grasp of the Ducks if they're good enough. And then, with this staff, they're just so deeply embedded in Arizona that they're just pulling guys left and right. Four-star QB Blake Rosskopf is a great example. He's from Desert Edge High School. His teammate is Eric Sidney, three-star wide receiver. They're both from Arizona. They're both coming. But then they're also dipping into places like Colorado. You just landed another Texas kid. Last year they landed a kid from New Jersey, their quarterback, Derek Zammit. They're in play for a couple guys from Florida at IMG Academy. So this national footprint, here's my question for you. Do you think it's necessary for the staff to go out? And I mean, what would you do? Do you think it's beneficial for them to cast a wide net, or should they be winning more in Southern California, winning more in the Bay Area? Or do you think it behooves them to just cast a wide net if you have the resources and just get anyone you can anywhere
Well, I think
possible?
the situation they're in right now is it's a head coach who's kind of been everywhere. I mean, he's
Yeah.
just coached in so many different roles and in so many different locations that he's very well connected all over the country. And so I think it'd be silly not to reap the benefits of those connections. And I feel
Yeah.
like if you got guys you like, you got guys you like. And I mean, sure, you're probably, like you said, going to end up seeing a majority of guys coming from certain spots. But if there's a guy from Florida or Georgia or Texas that is interested and you think you can, get that player to make the call and come up to the Northwest, then I think there's value in that. And I also think
Yeah.
it's a slightly different world now being in the Big Ten as opposed to the Pac-12,
Yeah.
where, now you're playing out in all these different
You're
spots
playing
on a
at
yearly basis.
Rutgers in New Jersey, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like, I think
yeah.
you gotta do it.
Yeah, and weirdly enough, I was at a wedding out in Indianapolis this past weekend, and I was talking with a D2 lacrosse coach, and she was going deep into explaining how recruiting works and, what it means to get visits. And like, I volunteered information that like, hey, I know some people up in Seattle. Have you ever thought of recruiting in the Northwest? And she said, honestly, like, it's hard to convince people to come, I haven't thought about it. Like, it's a lot easier to get people around me regionally, but like, if there's a connection, then that's pretty much the key, right? Like, there needs to be a relationship and a connection there. And I think, from what I've seen following and covering, the recruiting on UW football is that the staff does indeed have these connections and they're building more connections. And all it takes is one or two kids to commit. And then now, it's not so scary to, come up all the way up to the Northwest and play football. And it's actually could be a pretty cool experience and a good experience at the university. So that's the latest with the recruiting. They have another big recruiting weekend coming up. You can go on ctonesports.com to see and read about who's coming, who's likely to commit next, and read up on that. What else do we got? We got game 1 of the NBA Finals tomorrow.
Yep. Very exciting.
And our guy Mitch Johnson did it. He did
He
it.
did.
He
Leader of
beat the
men.
Thunder. But he probably didn't watch our viral clip of your conversation with Monty Kohler, but he did do it, and the Spurs are there. What are your thoughts on the matchup between the Spurs and who are they playing?
New York Knicks.
And the New York Knicks, the Villanova Wildcats.
Correct. Yeah, the power of friendship Villanova Knicks.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Spurs sort of have something about them right now, and it's hard to deny. I mean, they went into a hostile environment on Saturday on the road, game 7, and in the fourth quarter, it was just big shot after big shot from all kinds of different pieces on that team. I mean, Keldon Johnson hitting 2 threes and getting a putback. Dylan Harper had a crazy step back 3 in crunch time. Champagnie, Vassell, all that combined with De'Aaron Fox having a big game, and Wemby was Wemby. And it seems like they're so young, but they're so fearless. And
Yeah.
I think there's a ton of value in that, especially knowing that for games 3 and 4 of the finals, you're going to have to go to Madison Square Garden, and those people aren't exactly going to be your friends. So
And they're
I think,
so excited to be in the NBA Finals.
yeah,
Is this the first time since like the Patrick Ewing era that they've made it?
the
It's
last
gotta
time they were in
be.
it was 99, and they played the Spurs.
Wow. With
Yeah,
David Robinson and Tim
yeah,
Duncan.
exactly.
That's
So
nuts.
there's that storyline that's cool. But on the other hand, I mean, I talk about how well the Spurs are playing. I mean, they just were in a 7-game war with the defending
Yeah.
champions. The Knicks have been on a complete tear the last month now. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they've won 11 straight games. They were down 2-1 to the Hawks in the first round, and since then they haven't lost. And it's not just that they're winning games. I mean, they're dominating. They in the Philly series and in the Cleveland series, they've just been dominant. And there's this big question mark of, can you win an NBA championship when a small guard like Jalen Brunson is your best player? But what they've done to surround him is very impressive. Karl Anthony Towns has been really good in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You just have a bunch of like wing players who can all score and they can all guard. So, that's going to be a lot of work for the Spurs. The Spurs have a similar makeup with their guards, but they're going to have to go out there against Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, who are all lockdown defenders. So I think there's a lot to be excited about in this series. And more importantly, you have 2 fan bases that are going to be ready to pop in these games. I think there's a lot of cool storylines this year within the finals that give lots of reason for excitement.
And you haven't even mentioned Victor Wembanyama. Like,
He's amazing.
this like this is his the birth, this is like the start of the legend, right? Like maybe this is like chapter 2 of his career. Chapter 1 like the rookie year, and like chapter 2 being like and he's got this Kobe Bryant mentality of like win at all costs. Like all I want to do is win. And really like the stories that are coming out, like the great ESPN story about his off season with the Monks, dribbling up a mountain and all of that. We don't know how good he's gonna be, and that's what's scary. Like if you look at any other, like the obvious comparison is Giannis. Like Giannis wasn't this good this quick, right? It
Yeah, and
took a
he also
couple.
wasn't 7'5".
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. It took a couple years, right? And this everyone knows this is not his peak, right? No one's speaking as if this is his peak, which I think is the most interesting component of the discourse about where he's at right now. So it'll be interesting to see what the Knicks try to do, right? Not to stop him, but to
neutralize him.
kind of neutralize him. I mean, the easiest way is to get physical and then to get him in foul trouble, right? Like that's like the easiest thing to do all the time. Teams have tried that probably all season. Hasn't really worked. So I'm excited to see. I'll finally turn on the TV and watch some games. I probably should watch watch more than I do, and the Seattle Storm aren't really helping their cause, but they
No.
are tanking, so that's nice. So maybe I'll watch like the first quarter of watching them lose, and then switch over to the finals.
Yeah. I just like you said about Victor, he's very unique. He's my roommate said something when we were watching the game on Saturday, and he's like the care factor with him is very high. And I
Yeah,
thought it was very well said. I mean, you just look at some of the shots of him on the court during the game on Saturday and some of the fist bumps he let out and looks to the
yeah,
bench, especially in the fourth quarter. It's just he's just a very unique talent, and he's very thoughtful. I enjoy listening to him speak after games,
yeah.
and he's just the care factor. It's
Yep,
there,
yep.
and his teammates clearly rock with him, and he clearly rocks with his teammates, and Mitch has got those guys playing some great basketball.
Do you have a prediction?
Yeah, I'll go Spurs. Spurs in 6, win game 6 in the Garden, just to add to the lore of Victor Wembanyama winning his first NBA championship at Madison Square Garden
And
at the
you think
Mecca.
he's the NBA Finals MVP?
Yeah, I think that's the only realistic outcome.
If
Yeah.
they win, then he'd have to be the MVP. Okay, you heard it
Yeah,
here first.
I hope I'm right. I picked the
Yeah,
Thunder to win that last series when I was on
yeah,
last week, and I'm glad I was wrong.
yeah. So I got actually 2 top 5s. I'll drive this for you. So my first top 5 is just related to what we were just talking about. So you just mentioned that the last time the Knicks were in the finals was in 1999. So I'm assuming that was the 1998 to 1999 season. In front of me, I have all the All-Star game selections of the New York Knicks. So let's start from that 1999 and on. Can you name 5 different All-Stars
From
while they were
1999
Knicks
to now,
to now? Yeah.
yeah, Jalen Brunson,
Okay.
Carmelo Anthony,
Carmelo, yep.
Amari Stoudemire.
By the way, Carmelo went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons in a row from 2011 through to 2017. Yep, Amari Stoudemire in 2010. Weirdly enough, only one. You'd think he'd have multiple. He
Yeah,
only had one.
when they first got him, he was a monster there, but then he had the thing where he broke his hand. I think he punched a fire extinguisher in the tunnel.
Yeah.
He just couldn't stay healthy by the time he got there.
So you're at 4. So you hit Amari, you hit Melo, you hit Cat, and you hit Jalen.
I did not say Cat, but we'll leave him out.
Okay.
I'll leave
Who
him
did
out.
you
So
say? Who did you
I
say?
said Brunson, Carmelo, and Stoudemire. I think that was it. I think that's all I've said.
Okay.
Unless I said Julius Randle. If I didn't say Julius Randle,
Okay, there you go. That's 4. And then if you don't
I got
count
a
Cat,
couple options here for the 5th name. I want to see if I can think of something that's a little more out there. I don't know if he was an All-Star in New York, but I'm going to say Sprewell first.
yeah, Sprewell just by a hair in 2001.
Perfect.
Sprewell.
Should I try and keep going?
You can try to keep on going.
Was Tyson Chandler an All-Star with the Knicks?
Yes, 2012 to 2013.
Tyson
Yes.
Chandler. Okay. Let's go with, Stephon Marbury.
No, he's never an All-Star. Crazy, right?
That's where the run
Probably an
ends, I
All-Star
guess.
in China. Do you want some hints? Okay, one of these guys played for the Warriors. I think he played after he went to Golden State after.
David Lee.
Yep, 2009 to 2010, post-recession. And then your last guy's a European in 2017, 2018.
2017, 2018. Is this obvious?
Not really, but he did play for the Knicks.
Porzingis?
Yeah, Porzingis. There you go. You hit, and that's it. Those are all the All-Stars from 1999 to 2026.
It's not a long list. I'm glad I said Sprewell when I did.
Yeah. I think actually the only Allen Houston would be the last person, but I feel like
Gotcha.
he's kind of still part of that like 1999 team. So I don't blame you if you would have missed him. So that was really good. So I'm glad we did that one. We got that one out of the way. The other one I think you'll like. So
Good.
it was announced today that Stephen Curry signed a 10-year, $400 million deal, moving from Under Armour to Li Ning, the giant Chinese sportswear company, and he's going to bring the Curry brand and his shoe with him. Can you name the 5 other biggest shoe
Okay.
deals, endorsement deals in the NBA.
Current
No, all time.
LeBron.
LeBron $1 billion in 2015 lifetime endorsement contract. It's reported to be the second $1 billion sports apparel contract in the history of sports.
I mean, Jordan's got to be on here, right?
Yeah, Jordan's number one, $1.3 billion.
That's crazy.
He makes over $130 million in royalties alone. It's just, yeah.
That's gluttonous.
So Jordan, James, Curry, those are your top 3 right there. Obviously, over $1 billion's a lot more than 400 million. Who's coming after them? That's it. Let's see if you
this is
can
where things get interesting.
draw it out.
I'm gonna take a bit of a wild guess here. Or are the last 2 guys, are they current players?
They're current players.
Is Kyrie one of these guys?
Kyrie's not on the list.
Okay.
Kyrie is not in the top 7.
Okay. Shoot. Is it? I'm thinking maybe one of the Adidas guys. I'll guess.
There's 2 Adidas guys here. Well, actually, there's one Adidas guy in the top 5, and there's one guy at number 6.
So out of the Adidas guys, I'll go Dame.
Dame was number 6.
Man.
Dame was at 100 million plus.
So that tells me it's
lifetime
probably
deal
James Harden.
with James Harden's at 200 million for 13 years. Started in 2015, he gets about 15.38 million, which like literally doesn't seem a lot compared to their salaries, but that's still a lot of money.
So the fifth is not an Adidas guy.
So the 5th guy, the 5th guy is another brand. Do you want
a brand that we haven't said yet?
No, it is a brand that we've said.
Okay. Is it? I'm trying to think of who's got a good playing shoe out right now. Is it Paul George?
No.
Or is it Kawhi with New Balance?
No, he played for the Sonics.
Played for the Sonics. Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant, 300 million lifetime deal with Nike. Just out, number 6 was Lillard. Number 7, Zion Williamson.
Man.
Signed a 75 5-year deal with Jordan. So those are your shoe deals. Nothing's coming close to the $1 billion deals that we have with Jordan and LeBron.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Like those 2 guys are kind of in their own.
Yeah. Shout out to the Shaqs though, man.
Shaqs.
That's selling $15 shoes at Payless. Come on, man.
And we already talked about Marbury. I had the Starberries at one point.
You had the Starberries. Yeah. Anything else? I tried out for the Salle Prep basketball team with Sean Carter's. Do you remember those shoes?
Yes.
They're a little too much cushion. I don't think they were meant for basketball.
I also at one point had a pair of the Spreewell spinners.
God, those were great. I mean,
so cool.
I was rocking the T-Max in CYO. The T-Mac 4s didn't have laces. You just put the shoe on, and then you'd like tighten this like little gear thing on the back. It's pretty cool.
There was a little run there with like when T-Mac was coming out with shoes and when Iverson was coming out with shoes. Like we had some good ones as we grew up.
What Spreewells were your favorites? Like what did you wear for Holy Rosary?
I probably ever got were when I was a kid. I think when I was maybe in 2nd grade, I got like one of the first pairs of Mellows to come out. Yeah. And I had the Carmelo jersey and some baby blue shorts to go with. So
did you buy them off the East Bay catalog?
No, I believe those were a South Center Mall pickup.
Do you remember the East Bay catalog?
Of course.
Oh my gosh. It just made everything look so much cooler, a much simpler time.
Well, and it was also just like kind of just not fair to have that to look at because it's like you can't have everything. But like all the basketball shoes that were in there, all the baseball bats that were in there, all the jerseys that were in there. It's like, how do I get all of it?
Just take me back to a simpler time with the East Bay catalog and South Center. Where would you go? Champs?
Yeah, Champs, Foot Locker.
Then I stopped by Wizards of the Coast to get a pack of MLB Showdown cards. Man, a much simpler time.
Maybe go to Lids. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They
Crazy enough, lids and champs are still around and footlock.
the Seattle team shop,
Yeah.
plenty of spots. Go to the food
Yeah.
court, man. It's a good deal. It's a good deal. Taco time up there.
Uh, Brett, if you're still with us, thanks for listening. Hopefully, by the time you listen to this, the Mariners are already, completing the sweep over the Mets. Daniel, it was great to have
I
you
had one more
back.
thing I wanted to bring up,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
didn't think
Yeah.
to talk
Yeah.
about earlier when we texted, but
Yeah.
Myles Garrett is going to the Rams, and that
Yeah.
seems to affect us as Seahawks fans.
Well,
So
the Seahawks
I wanted to touch on that
re-signed.
briefly.
They extended Derek Hall, right?
Yeah.
Came a little cheaper. But I immediately when I saw the Myles Garrett news, I was like, that's actually impactful enough that could cost us a game. Like,
Yeah,
he's that
probably.
good. Yeah.
I
I
agree.
mean,
I
or
think
the
people
Rams,
are
that could cost us 2 games. Maybe not. I don't know. He's that good, right? Like, he's
you know who else is really good though? The Seattle Seahawks are really
the
good. Mike McDonald's
Sam
really good.
Darnold. Yeah.
Sam Darnold, NFC Championship. Hey, these moves are only happening because Matt Stafford got outdueled by Sam Darnold in
Yeah.
Lumen Field
Yeah.
back in February. So I've seen a lot of panicking, and I get it. Myles Garrett is terrifying, and he's so good, historically great. But at the same time, it's the dark side, man.
Yeah,
We got a
and it's
great
not that
football team in
they've
Seattle.
faced Myles Garrett before. Like, it's not like you have to face him now 2 times a year.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
like,
deal
yeah,
with
he's
it.
good. Trent McDuffie's good. There's big
Yeah.
pickups,
You had to
but
expect this. The Rams had to get better, right?
JSN's good.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Man, when you say that, I'm like, football is like training camp's 2 months away. We're almost
It,
there,
it's
dude.
gonna be here very fast, and
Yeah.
we're gonna be dealing with the grind of Husky football, the Seahawks every Sunday, and
And then the
hopefully a Mariners
Mariners.
playoff run.
God, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be overloaded, man. Well, there you go. There you have it. That's episode 97. Please, if you've made it this far, that means you like us. So actually, like the video, like whatever you're listening to. It helps. And subscribe and tell a friend. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next week. Peace.